YouTube? It's Brian Phillips. We've got something all new. The C180, which is from RC Era. It is absolutely gorgeous. And we're gonna fly for you right now. You'll notice that the lights aren't on because I haven't plugged in or actually turned on the battery yet. We'll show you the whole process, including the Unbox build radio setup. There's not much build or radio setup, but you do have to move the stick up and down. That's the way I like it. So camera crew is gonna hold this for just a mere moment as I flip the helicopter over and press this button. Once it's pressed, you'll hear it beep and snap to life. And I'm gonna set it on the ground so it can be nice and level. Fold those blades out if you haven't already, and then turn on your transmitter. Transmitter causes it to start flashing. You can see in the canopy on this, yes, there is a little bit of setup because we have to put some stickers on. So up and then down. By the way, if you need to arm it, down and out. If you need to gyro calibrate, down and to the left. So let's do it right now. You ready? Arming it. Oh yeah, there it goes. Very quiet, brushless tail rotor and brushless main. Take off. Oh, that is so cool. A little bit of drift toward me, but it's actually staying where it is. There's downward facing sensor. There's an optical flow sensor and a LiDAR. Oh, dang, that is so pretty. We did have to install the missiles. Okay, I'm in speed 3 just because that's where I happen to be. This has speed 1, 2, and 3. I'll show you full speed forward. Man, love the way it looks. Full speed coming back. You good, camera crew? Mm-hmm. Oh, yes. I love it. Good bank, good yaw authority. I'll show you the spinning rate. There is pretty good spin rate. Pretty good spin rate. Seems pretty even. Now I'm gonna go down to speed 1. Here's speed 1, full speed at speed 1 is pretty slow. Very easy to control, very desirable controls. Not very much tip, but man, oh man, in the sunset. Talk about having a bad day if you see that coming towards you. That being said, I'm gonna go back to speed 3. Speed 3, here it is. Look at the blades are painted on both the tail rotor and the main rotors, which is awesome. It's kind of disappearing into our green backdrop, so we'll bring it right over the clouds, or excuse me, right over the tree line. So now we're at 3 meters, so let's flip it upside down. Bring it up to altitude on mode 2, we're over here, so we're gonna press up. Then we're gonna tell it, whoops, gotta use the aileron, not the rudder. So, and it's automatic, guys. Then it just flies like any other helicopter you've ever flown, except it's very confused, upside down. And yes, look at that, guys. This is Brian Phillips RC flying this, AKA the helicopter is flying itself. Look at that, that is so dang cool. It's gimmicky, but at the same time, it's a cool gimmick. So there you have it, guys. It flies upside down, careful camera crew. But you know what's weird is since it's upside down and you're flying it the same way, it yaws to the left, it rolls to the left, it rolls to the right, it goes forward, it goes backward. And yes, you have yaw authority in the same orientation. So let's go up to altitude a little bit. As you see, up goes up. And then to get out of that mode, all you gotta do is do the same process up and then roll it back over. It'll flip back over in your regular mode. And there you have it. It flies just like normal. Hun, what do you think?
Looks good.
It looks awesome.
Yeah.
It looks really dang good. It flies good. It does all the things you'd expect. Let's bring it over to the grass. Oh yeah, let's pop up from the grass. Hidden attack, oh yeah! This is a 127th?
125th.
125th. And then there's 148th, which is a different size Huey. And ironically, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you this as we kind of get to let go and watch it stop. This transmitter was originally from our 148th UH-1 Huey. Remember, you need all the feature support if you want to use all the features. And if you press and hold this button for 2 seconds, it's gonna fall out of the sky. I'm not gonna do that, but I will bring it forward and press one-touch landing, okay? So let's bring it here and let's press landing. Landing puts it into a flashing light condition, puts it on the ground, shuts off the motors, disarms itself. That is a glorious experience. It goes back to a slow flash on the tail, and then it goes to solid lights. I think it's nature walk time down to the pond. What do you think?
Okay.
Or do you want to go down there?
Well, whatever.
Okay, so sticks down and out, arms it, take off, one touch take off. Yes, you can just raise the sticks. I'll show you that now. Landing right now. on the ground. Wait for it to disarm. Okay, it's armed. Watch, if you try to take off without, it doesn't do anything. Arm it first. Stick up, take off. See? Pretty cool. So it does the thing either way. And yes, guys, this thing is beautiful. It is extremely detailed. It's definitely keeping up with itself. It's got good speed. It's got good controllability, and it's got very good looks. Okay, nature walk time. All right, guys, you haven't seen an update lately, but you're gonna see it right now because we have the directional boring happening. So over there, I just shot rockets at that unknown identified vehicle. Oh, except that vehicle is the vehicle that's putting in our underground utilities. So don't shoot that thing.
Need that.
All right, so let's fly over here. Let's see what we got going on over in this area. We had a tree get cut down. Some of you guys always telling me to cut down trees. I know it's weird. I love trees. Why would you love trees when you love RC airplanes? I get it. But one of the trees was dead, so I cut it down. Another was dead, and a third was dead. So I did that the other day. We're just waiting for low battery at this point. Yes, it charges on a USB-C. You can charge it by pulling it out. You press a button, turn it off. The power button is built into the battery, just like on other RC era. They are not interchangeable. They are gonna be specific to each helicopter. So just remember, when you're flying these helis, you may or may not be able to interchange them. And when you fly in and among trees, just be careful, because what may happen, and this has happened to me before, is that you will get in a circumstance where it goes to a low voltage shutdown auto land. I'm gonna go to 1 speed so that we can do this. Let's fly through this hole, camera crew. You ready?
Okay.
I'm gonna fly through this hole and then I'm gonna walk in after it. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yes, super easy. I almost need more speed because it's so slow in speed 1. But I mean, honestly, that's a good thing. So over here, we got the fish trap, guys. Just flying in here where the bugs like to live. And I'm gonna bring it through and see if we can get over by the water. Yes, we can. Oh yeah. I'm gonna go to speed 2 and see how it does. Camera crew, you good?
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll just bring it over here. We've got the little helipad over there. We haven't actually used that one for a little bit. Camera crew, you good?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, did you see the fish or something just jump? Dang, that looks so sweet. And yes, over water, sometimes the LiDAR sensors will get a little bit weird. And so just be aware, once you get over ground, it's gonna be more, or not LiDAR, but the downward facing optical flow sensors, they may actually have an easier time seeing. So what you'll find is that the helicopters may slide a little bit more when you let off the sticks, because there's less orientatable things to see, okay? Now, if your water's really dirty, that might not be such a problem. I think that's why it's working great right now, because I don't know that they've fixed it. Dang, that's so cool. Over here by the rocks, I'm just watching for those 2 lights on the tail boom to start flashing in a fast succession. And when that happens, oh yes, look at the water. Oh, that is so dang cool, camera crew. I hope you're seeing it. Oh, I love looking at water from helicopters. By the way, ground effect is different when you're over water than it is over land. I don't know if you guys knew that. I found that out from full-scale helicopter literature. And when I say literature, I mean videos on Instagram while pooing. Yes, that's right. Dang, this helicopter is so good. It's got really good up-down authority. We don't always have that. And so I'm gonna see if I can knock off some of these. Yes, yes! It just took it right out.
Can you blow all the mosquitoes away?
Nah. Ooh, look at that. It's a pretty good weed whacker. Oh no, I'm trapped on one. I'm trapped on one. Oh no, pressing and holding stop. I can't believe it survived that long, guys. I got my missiles launched and then it's stuck in one of the grass pieces. Hold this, please. I wanna see if it's damaged at all. I don't think it is. That was pretty good. I'm gonna start weed whacking all my weed whacking needs with this helicopter. So let's go ahead and put it down and see if it'll take back off. We'll just lay it down here.
Fast flashing. You're just gonna have to rearm?
Well, I don't know. I think it actually freaked out because I stopped it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna sticks down and out. Okay, power off, power on, sticks up, sticks down. rearming. Sticks down and out.
Still fast flashing.
Okay, so what I'm gonna do is, in this case, I'm gonna power down by pressing and holding the power key. I'm gonna let it shut off, then I'm gonna press and hold again. Okay, it's rearmed. We're gonna let it down. Get these blades sort of out to the side, and then I'm gonna go off, then back on, up, and then down. Take off. Here goes. Oh, look at that. Oh, yes. We have defeated you again, grass. Here, let's fly over us. You ready? Let's see if it gets the, defeats the mosquitoes. Yeah, see, mosquitoes, you're not the only ones that hum and make obnoxious noises. This helicopter does too. Yes. That is a really good looking helicopter. By the way, no damage, obviously. As you can see, it's very controllable. It's easy to control. Let's take out these ones here. Yes, yes.
Uh-oh, you beeped.
Oh, it's
and you're
beeping.
blinking.
It's beeping, folks. The transmitter is beeping, which tells me that we're gonna lose battery. Oh, slow flash. So it's a slow flash, folks. So what that means is I'm gonna try to land this. Okay, I'm in speed 2. I really like speed 2. It's a good speed. Let's go to speed 1. Let's try landing on this other rock, okay? You ready? Mm-hmm. So now I'm in speed 1. I'm gonna just see if I can hold this down on top of the rock, okay? Ooh, it's really resistant to going there for some reason. I don't quite understand that. I'm gonna go back to speed 2. It's almost like it doesn't have enough. It's concerned about that particular object.
Oh.
You see what's happening?
Yeah.
It's fighting me as I go over that object. Look at that.
Yeah.
That's so weird. Let's see if we can land it though. Oh, I got it to latch on. Here we go, sticks down. Get it done, yes! Hold down the sticks for a minute, and there it is. So you can just hold it down, but I gotta be honest with you. I think it would probably make better sense to just use the one-touch landing method, okay? So camera crew, if you don't mind holding this. So at the end of the day, is this thing the creme de la creme? I don't even know what that means, but I think it means good. I think it is dang awesome. And by the way, when you pick this up, that little exposed bump, that's your motor. You know how I know? Because it's really hot. Just like this helicopter. And yes, a big old splatuki there.
Gross.
That is not gross, it's good. So we are getting eaten up by the skeeters. Thanks guys for watching this video. Thanks for subscribing. Click the bell when you do subscribe so you get notified of new content from Brian Phillips RC. Check out brianphillipsrc.com or bprc.me. You can support us by buying these things from the links in the video description below, or you can just be a member, monthly support through YouTube, or you can do one-time donations through Super Thanks, as well as Patreon for monthly support and PayPal for one-time donations, all of which are accepted and encouraged. But really at the end of the day, my biggest encouragement to you is get out of the chair and into the air. This thing is really good. It does all the stuff you want. And as you can see, even if you try to crash it, it will be somewhat recoverable compared to larger and more robust helicopters. This thing does great. Yes, brushless tail rotor. Yes, brushless main. This thing is awesome. And I love, even though we splatuki'd that guy, I love that you can see into the windshield.
Yeah, it's cool.
We'll show you all the steps it took to get it out of the box and into the air next. So stay tuned and come back for more. Thanks for watching. YouTube, it's Brian Phillips. We're gonna unbox whatever this thing is. Welcome to Brian Phillips RC. We unbox them, we build them, we set them up. We call this the Unbox Build Radio Setup. Sometimes when we build them, it's like opening a box, and other times we have to assemble many parts. But it just kind of depends on the manufacturer and the style of finish, and we're gonna help get you there here on Brian Phillips RC. We won't leave you hanging. If you're brand new to the hobby, welcome. We'll get you out of the chair and into the air by telling the full truth, nothing but the truth, so help us God. Look at this, looks like a giant shoebox. Did you order me shoes? Is that what we're unboxing today?
That would be interesting.
One piece of tape here, we'll cut it. And this is sort of the unmarked package, so we'll see what it is together. You may have seen it in the thumbnail, but I haven't seen it in the thumbnail. Future Brian has seen it in the thumbnail.
Maybe it is shoes.
Oh, Look at that, amazing. RC era C180. Oh yeah, look at that. It's pretty, it's bigger. We've done some of these before. It comes with some stickers, okay. Comes with a little bit of foam to protect the aircraft. Let's pull it out of the package. Ooh, and it comes with Ordnance. Of course, I'm gonna have to install that, which is kind of annoying. Because if you wanted to use this packaging, it's not gonna work so hot. Oh yeah, that is gorgeous. 4-bladed main rotor, painted tips. It's a little bit unusual that you would see a 2-blade on a 4-blade. Usually if you got 4 up here, you got 4 back here. But that's a little brushless motor, direct drive. As you can see, there's a light here. And it's got that sweet olive drab and black finish. This livery is gorgeous. I love the clear on the front. Ooh, but we're gonna have to apply those stickers as well. So let's figure out what type of battery we've got. Oh, look at that LiDAR and optical flow sensor, which if you guys don't know what that is gonna look down at the ground. It's gonna use imaging to help in this axis, while there is a flight controller that's gonna help control pitch and roll by automatically compensating and allowing you to have to fly less, meaning you don't have to be as skilled to be able to pilot this helicopter. Now, this may have some additional features. Some of them flip upside down, some of them don't. I don't know what we're gonna have on this, but there appears to be this little screen here. I've never seen that before. So I'm gonna hit power. Actually, I'm gonna release this. Press and pull, okay? That is different looking. I wonder if that's a detail from the Heli or if it's actually some sort of a screen. I don't want to turn on the Heli. Let's see what happens. Okay, so those lights come on. There's 4 blue lights, which usually indicates that it's charged to a certain extent. That's 7.4 volts, so it's a 2S at 1200 milliamp hours. It is rechargeable. And just note to self, there is no transmitter in this particular finish level, which is called a bind and fly. Okay, so they must not have realized that the legs were gonna overshoot the packaging. And so they've clipped it so that it'll fall out the edge. That being said, there's no damage on the box, but I can see where the skid has depressed the board here, the cardboard. So that's probably not so good. Makes me nervous for longevity and shipping in less desirable environments. But I will tell you this, ours wasn't damaged, which is good. Yours, we hope it's not as well. Okay, so let's go through the build process, but let's first get this started charging. You can see there's blue lights on there. Camera crew, you want to show them that? And USB-C, right?
Yes.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a USB-C charger, and this time I'm going to use a Samsung charger for my cell phone. We'll see if that goes. It's kind of a fast charger, so maybe it'll catch it on fire and then you'll learn not to do that.
Okay.
Plugging into a regular outlet. This thing puts out some power, so I'm going to go ahead and press the power button for a moment and it shuts off. Now, let's see if we can walk over here where we can get out of the sunlight and press this. When pressing it, it comes on with 4 lights. So that tells me typically it's full, but I want to see if it updates that information. It's kind of hard to see while you're pressing the button. So I'm pressing the button to turn it off and it has like a countdown sequence, and then when you let go, it shuts off. USB-C would be ambidextrous. You can plug it in either direction. And it looks like we're flashing on the 3rd light. So that tells us that we're somewhere between 50% and 100%. I'll try to angle it exactly right. So we'll let that charge as we conduct the rest of our build. Now, the rest of our build is gonna surely need a couple of screwdrivers and possibly some know-how. And then also another transmitter, which we'll get to shortly. Okay, so first things first. This thing looks fantastic. It is gorgeous. We have not seen an RC air with this much detail, but we've seen a lot of really good RC airs. Even this mechanism up here looks really good. So excited to see if it flies half as good as it looks, and just the rivets are so fine. And I love this anti-tail strike. It's a little weak. Not that it's gonna matter because obviously the boom itself protects this from hitting. Oh, and we are gonna have LEDs here. 1 And 2, yes, red and green, very cool. Okay, so let's go ahead and get along with the assembly. The assembly should be pretty easy. So we'll just start with these stickers. I think I figured this out while I was just kind of doing my thing. Let's fold these blades out of the way. They are pretty loose right now. If they annoy you, like they kind of come out at different various levels, you'll want to tighten these down, and that's going to take probably a 2 millimeter drive. Nope, a 1.5 it is. Here's a 1.5 millimeter. Yeah, so 1.5 millimeters. Go back, thank you. See, 1.5, so you can torque those down or loosen them as needed. But I'm gonna just fold these out of the way for the moment. And you see when you get these 4-bladed doohickeys, you can't always park the 4th blade. And so if you turn them, sometimes you can get lucky enough to be able to go atop the other and then under the other, but this one likes to run into itself. So you're never gonna get it a whole lot smaller than this, okay? You can get that one over there, but you're gonna have one that sticks out. And then if you try to flip this one over, you see you're gonna run into your own control from the swash plate, okay? That comes up and of course changes the angle of that blade at that position in the sweep. All right, so the other thing too to keep in mind that's kind of interesting about this is you can see the flight controller. We almost never see the flight controllers on these, but I'm gonna have to put that tape along this little line here, this little line here, this and this little line here, okay? So I'm actually gonna get an X-Acto knife to help with this application because it's gonna be a little easier if I have a sharp surface to work with. Just try not to stab yourself. I've done that on camera a number of times. It's embarrassing and also pretty painful. All right, so it looks like the longer one is gonna be the one that reaches all the way across. I'm not sure what I should do first, but let's see. I'm assuming this is what we're supposed to be using these for. So this is actually an applicator, and I'm gonna take the applicator and stick it on here. How do I know that? Because I've done this a time or two, and I just figured it out as I pulled it off of the stickers. So I'm gonna press this down with my thumb, get it started, and then just work it around the sweep of the canopy cockpit area. And as you can see, what's gonna happen is you're gonna be like, but that's gonna look like crap because I don't wanna see that plastic. Don't worry, you won't, because it's an applicator, okay? So you just rub your finger on there, give it a good rub down. Hun, would you rub it, please? Just give it at least one rub.
Sure.
Thank you. Will you rub it again? I'm just kidding. So then this should peel back off. So I'm gonna use this knife to get the edge. Oh yeah, look at that, guys. The applicator, I was correct in my assessment. There it is, and then you've got that nice black line. Now you don't have to do this step, but I would highly encourage you to do it because it's gonna give that detail. Now, why did they not do that at the factory? That's a question between God and the insurance agent, okay? Because there is no reason why they shouldn't have done that, okay? Now, the second thing, we're gonna do the vertical one, and I just put this up here so I could tell. It looks like they gave us 2 sets. So I'm gonna go ahead and take off the centrally located one. And this is gonna be more awkward because we've got this windshield wiper that is gorgeous. That's gonna make it really difficult to press it down, but I'm gonna try my best and give it a good college try here. So I'm gonna press really hard, and then I'm gonna take, because I can't quite press that in, I'm gonna just take the handle and press really hard so I can back off the backing, okay? So let's see if the backing comes off. Guys, welcome to Brian Phillips RC. We do this, we've done it for thousands and thousands of different aircraft. Well, maybe not aircraft, but at least videos. And you're probably thinking to yourself, are you serious? Thousands? Yeah, I'm serious. We have done this so many times, and it's an honor, it's a privilege and an honor to serve the RC community in the way that we've been able to do it over the last 10 and a half, 11 years. There's nothing better than being able to work with your wife on your hobby and have the support that I enjoy. It's really amazing. So thanks for being part of that support mechanism, and special thanks to the camera crew. She tolerates a lot of BS because I love this hobby. And it's not just this hobby, it's turned into a lifestyle just like people warned me it would. And I think that that's just something that's both, it's a double-edged sword, folks. If you think you're gonna start this hobby and not get drawn into more than what you expected, then you're probably a normal person and not an aircraft enthusiast, okay? But if you're an enthusiast to any degree, like I am, you're gonna get sucked in more than one video, more than one plane. Look how nice that looks. That worked pretty good. Okay, so we're gonna keep going. So fair warning, this is a gateway drug. That's what they say at the hobby shop, and that's what they mean. And it's true. That's what the guy used to tell me back in the day. And if you're anything like our hobby shops, they have changed over years, and some of them have continued to be good and some have not. And obviously online shopping has really changed the way things work. So I don't even think you can get these at the hobby stores. But I will tell you this, if you want to help support Brian Phillips RC, buy them from the links in the video description below, and that will earn us small commissions as you make your purchasing decisions. And it's going to help to define that we were involved in helping convince you. Thank you for doing that. Links are in the video description below. Okay, so we've got those applied. I don't think there's any other spots where you would need to apply those. Now, let's talk about ordnance, folks. So of course the ordnance is optional. You do not have to install the ordnance, but of course it's a BO105. And if you've got rocket pods and you're not installing them, then that would be weird in my opinion. Okay, so we'll just move this stuff out of the way. It looks like we've got a handful of rocket pods. They appear to be a little bit, they're a little bit thicker on one end than the other. I don't know if that matters, but it looks like these are just going to pop in. Yeah, that's what's gonna happen. They just clip in. Oh yeah, simple. So I am gonna defer to just lining up the thin versus the thick. So I'm gonna go with thin on this side. I don't know if there's a real obvious correct answer, but it looks like the sidewall is a little thicker on this. So I'm gonna line up the thicker side together, and I'm just gonna double correspond, make sure the colors are the same. They are the same. And then it looks like these will be pretty easy to mount in that they will screw in. I think they screw in over here, don't they? How do they screw in? Oh, two screw holes right there. One and two. So I'm almost certain that that's the way it goes. In fact, if you don't know how they go, here's a trick. You can grab the other BO105 that you have sitting on your counter, if you have one. This is, of course, the smaller RC Air offering. This one's really good too, super fun. And these are mounted at a bit of an angle. And so, of course, it still has 4 blades and really fun. So if you need something smaller, it's a little bit lower budget item. When you follow the link for this, will it show them both?
It won't, but I can link to both. That's the C186.
Yeah.
The smaller one.
And this is the C180. Yep.
Yep.
And so you've seen it before with RC Era. We have had a plethora of really good choices in different size classes. But as you remember from back in the day, one of the OGs, the originals, this is the Bell 206, and it is a beautiful helicopter. Of course, I'm a sucker for the Bell 206 from Flywing as well, and I just love this one. It comes out of the box flying very, very easy. And then, of course, we have the smaller offering, which is this size, and it is really good too, really fun. Of course, it doesn't fly quite as good as the bigger brother or sister, depending on how you look at that. And then of course the Pro, which is kind of like what we're looking at today, which has a little bit more detailing on it, forward facing light, nav lights, and of course it is beautiful. And it's got a brushless motor, but I think the tail motor on that is also brushed. Whereas it might be a coreless, but I think this one is a brushless. So that might be an upgrade in general. So we'll find out. Okay, so getting back to the build. And when I say build, I understand that some of you might get upset about that and, you know, think that we're misleading because we're saying build and really all we're doing is snapping together a few pieces. I get it, but please give me a break. We call it a build because it's easier than saying assemble. Okay, there it is. And you can cant those or slide those at an angle or whatever you want. I believe they are supposed to go like this right here. Okay. Now the doors don't slide on this. And that's partly because the ordnance is going to be in the way, but they do have the rail. I'm trying to show it with the highest light contrast here. Looks gorgeous. Of course, that'd be a swinging door there. That'd be a swinging door there. And just talking about, Roman Atwood had a video not too long ago with his BO 105, which is just awesome. And the FAA got all butthurt because of the way he was flying and had some certificate that was out of order. And so, of course, we're always really disappointed to hear about stuff like that because we love full-scale aviation. And he has a BO 105, so I'm sure he would love to be able to be flying that right now, but he's working through the battle with the FAA to get things squared away. I'm sure he'll get that squared away not too long from now. Okay, so this is the little 3mm Phillips. I'm using this tool, but you can actually use, if you have extremely small hands, you can use what comes with this. And I'm just gonna peel off all those little pieces of backing, see if they can get out of my way. Stick them to the garbage. And it does come with a screwdriver. Here it is, sweet. Now we get millions of these little screwdrivers from different competitive offerings. Sometimes they're terrible, sometimes they're okay. This one gets pretty good purchase into the head of the screw, but you can see it's not very pointy. So you end up with that blunt tip, okay? But it does seem to actually turn. Let's see if we can get one screw to go. And if we get one screw, these are the thicker and that's the thinner. So I'll put that on that side. And it's actually gonna be defined more specifically by the direction that it is pointing, which is up, okay? So you can see the screw kind of passing through. And now I've dropped it. They do give you some spares so you don't have to, you know, search and search and search if you drop one because they are dinky. But I will warn you, they are very dinky and very difficult to find and hold. So let's see, I'm just gonna hold that with my hand and I'm gonna keep a little bit of pressure, very awkward, hard to keep a bite on it. So I'm gonna go ahead and switch to a longer screwdriver for a more human-sized hand. A little better purchase there. And then we're gonna slide that screw in through the hole. And it's just kind of like held out at an angle. So not real awkward, real awkward. So I'm gonna hold this up against my belly so that I can hold this in my fingers. And then I'm gonna bring the helicopter right to me. And in order that I can find the hole, and this is, yep, I found the hole. So now let's see if I can get it started. Yep, I got it started. That worked pretty good. So I don't know if you guys picked up on what I was saying, but you're gonna take and load this onto your screwdriver. Once it's loaded, you can take your index finger and hold the screwdriver like this, okay? Then you get the blades out of the way. Sometimes you need to split them so it's a little easier to manipulate the helicopter. And then you can fold this up on itself and then pass it right into the pocket. And you see how it walked the frame down? Now you can, with your third hand, you can use your index finger to push it up and then you can get right in the hole. Oh, that wasn't too bad. We've had worse, believe it or not. That looked terrible, but it wasn't actually that bad. That is a lot of crap hanging off the side of this helicopter. It's gonna impact the flight performance, folks. So if you decide not to install those, you know, I'm not gonna make fun of you because it is an attack helicopter, but I should warn you, it's gonna impact the flight performance one way or another, okay? So it looks like they gave us 2 spare screws, by the way.
And luckily it's not a permanent install. So if you don't like it, you can just take it off. It's not gonna hurt anything. Okay guys, so you see I'm gonna do this one more time. I've got that held on there, but you see that gets in the way. So I have to hold it from above like this first, bring it up to my belly, load the screwdriver tip, that's the tip of the actual screw, into the hole, depress it against my belly in an assembly, and then I'm just gonna turn the screw a few times. Come on, you got it. Okay, good, I'm in. In like sin, there it is, okay? Turn it, turn it, turn it, turn it, turn it. Okay, don't overturn it because those screws will strip because the metal is harder than the plastic. Same thing here, remember? Just hold it in your hand like that, hold the screw on the tip, and then chase it into this very tight pocket here, okay? So here on Brian Phillips RC, we're always trying to give you tips on penetrating your model and hitting tight holes and dark holes, all alike. Because at the end of the day, building these helicopters, airplanes, quads, VTOLs, and all the other plethora of cool things that we review on this channel can only be made better
Or made better.
Made better by watching somebody else struggle through the process first. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. Take the extra screws, drop them in the bag that I ripped. I ripped my sack, hun.
They gave you a Ziploc.
Yeah, I know, but I was gonna put this in there too, because then all the things would be together, and then I could save that Ziploc for another application.
Of course, that's...
Yeah, because it's super important.
Yeah.
Because we need that. So there you go, there you have it. Now, you're probably thinking to yourself, but Brian, you just built that helicopter and you don't even have a transmitter for it. That would be an astute observation, okay? But I am gonna tell you this. I don't need no stinking transmitter because I already got one. And you might, but if you don't, you can get these in ready to fly. It'll come with a flight pack, which is inserted in there. You can also order it with more flight packs, right?
Yes.
And then you can order it with the transmitter. So in our case, I'm gonna just reach around and grab one from this little tray of transmitters. And I'm gonna get one that says 3D on it in case it does the 3D feature. Now, you can bind these to the other styles. The other styles look a little something like this. Here's a black one. And they also have a gray one that's like this, and it has not got these features built in. But it has the 3 speeds, it's got the takeoff landing. This one has a stop, so it's a little bit different layout of the keys. But just full disclosure, whatever one you bind, the buttons are going to work as the buttons are going to work, unless you have bound this one to one of those simpler ones that don't support the upside down flight features and that sort of thing, okay? So in order to get this working, for instance, this says green 148th UH-1 Huey RC era, okay? So that would be this one right here, which by the way is awesome and it works really good. Show them a close up, please. That helicopter will do all the things that it claims to do and it does it very well. It's got a pretty big rotor, I think, on it for a Huey, but it looks good, okay? Now, in order to bind an RC era helicopter, all you need to do is turn it on, and that's easy because we've done that by just plugging in the battery and then pressing the button on it, okay? So you can see that this is somewhere between 75 and 100% in that it's flashing on the last flashing light. So because it's the same as this 1/48th scale Heli, okay, in terms of performance, the one thing I can tell you is that doesn't mean that the batteries are the same, okay? So this is actually a smaller helicopter. So this one is, what is this one?
1/25th.
1/25th.
The smaller size, yeah.
It happens to be the same transmitter though, I believe, as the 148th. So this is a 148th, this is a 1/24th, okay? So there are big differences in size and you'll wanna pay attention to that. I am not a huge fan of the 24th, 32nd, 58th. I don't know what the ratios are. I just kind of wanna know the blade dimensions because that's what we have been learning and that's what most of the manufacturers size these helis with, okay? Now, some would say this is 180 millimeters. I actually don't know that that's true on this helicopter, okay? Oh, and if you're getting this as a bind and fly, then you will not have the transmitter, let alone the batteries that come in the transmitter. But if you get it as a ready to fly, it will also not come with the batteries. So you have to provide your own 4 AA's. Of course, we have our AA's in there. Now, these are spring loaded on the collective. The collective is what changes all 4 blades, in this case at once, to go up with pitch or down with pitch. And that's going to, of course, change the position of the helicopter up and down in space. Then, so that's up and down. In fact, come around, let's stand this way. So this is going to pitch you forward. It's gonna lean, this is the cyclic. So it's gonna go like that, or you can go like this, or you can go like that, or you can go like that. So imagine that this were a stick that came out of the bottom of the floor of the helicopter and you were moving it around. That's the cyclic. Then the collective would be a lever that's on the side. Sometimes they have a throttle or some sort of a fuel mixture, or sometimes they have triggers and things that start, you know, the ignition systems and things like that. And sometimes there's a trigger over here, and that might be push to talk, so you can hear on the radio system. But the idea is this is going to pitch the helicopter left or right or forward or backward. And then of course this is going to collectively change the pitch of all the blades simultaneously, which is going to lift you up or lower you down. Of course, that is going to be mixed with the speed that the motor turns to a degree. And it just depends on the helicopter. Sometimes this will make it spin a little bit more, but generally speaking, it is a fixed speed, and you might perceive a difference in output because the pitch creates larger load electrically on the motor, okay? So depending on if you're doing a collective pitch helicopter, or if you're doing some sort of a fixed pitch like that little tiny one on the end, or these, which are actually collective pitch helis, they're just small, okay? So small, but this changes the pitch, okay? So if you have a fixed pitch helicopter versus a collective pitch helicopter, you're either changing the pitch or you're not, okay? This is gonna be a collective pitch helicopter, I believe. This is definitely gonna change the pitch of the helicopter blades, okay? Now, you can't actually test any of the features of this until we plug in the battery, and so we wanna be prepared. But in order to bind, you're gonna turn this on, and you're gonna go up and down, and it's gonna be bound, okay? I could bind this to any one of those helicopters over there. In fact, I'll show you real quick the wrong helicopter just to prove a point, so that you know, even though this is an upgraded transmitter from this little heli, this little heli does not support all the features. I'll press it in, and then it's already on. Now I'm gonna turn on my transmitter up and down. It's ready to fly, so of course I could take off if I want. And in fact, why don't we just go ahead and lay this right here and take off. This is not the helicopter we're here to review, but I'm gonna show you how this works. Sticks down and out, arm it, and then up you go. Okay, very good. So as you can see, we'll just fly that around, and there it is. And we'll just hold it down to the ground and let it crash into the wall and hit stop. So sometimes sometimes that happens, and sometimes it doesn't. But as you can see, the helicopter has survived. That's one of the best reasons why you get these little helis, okay? Now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna try that again just to show you that it's gonna work fine. Put it on the table, and then I believe, I'm trying to remember how to calibrate the gyros, but there's a couple of different ways to calibrate gyro. And so I just did sticks down and opposite. And obviously this is gonna be resetting the position. So I'm going to go sticks down and out. Ooh, see, it shut off. Oh. So I'm gonna reset the power, plug it in, set it down on a flat, sticks down and out. Oh, I gotta arm it up, then down. See, it didn't work? You gotta power cycle this too. Sticks up and then down, and now it's armed. Okay, so you can actually see things moving. Everything's hunky-dory there. There are trimmers on this, okay? So I'm gonna try to take off again here. Okay, so just remember duck if something goes wrong.
Okay.
So up you go. There it is. Very good. So we'll go up a little bit more, and as you can see, it's flying along just fine. I think what happened was I picked it up a little bit too quick. It didn't have a chance to initiate, and so therefore it kind of walked slowly. Now, on this helicopter, you can also hit stop at any time and hold it for 2 seconds, and it will just fall to the ground. So be careful, that feature, it takes 2 seconds to stop it. So you saw when I pressed it, it was just kind of chattering around on the ground. Of course, it didn't damage anything, but you're gonna probably damage a bigger heli, so be aware. Now that we've showed you how to crash a helicopter, and also the fact that they might survive, I'm gonna go ahead and de-energize this helicopter. This one also incidentally charges on a USB-C. So now that you have seen a couple of different scenarios, we've also proven the fact, the other thing is these things like to pop out. Those just pop in and out with pressure, okay? So you can glue them, but I just always pop them in with pressure, okay? By the way, one of my favorite RC era helicopters is this little Bell 206. I'm not gonna fly it right now because we gotta get to the point with this. And it looks like we are still flashing, but I think we're probably good enough to showcase the setup. So I'm gonna go ahead and unplug this. The lights shut off automatically because the lights will shut off, okay? If you press and hold this, it's on. So you don't want it on when you insert the battery. You want it off, okay? So this goes into here. And by the way, I'm just gonna tell you something right now. It sounds totally counterintuitive, but I actually probably trust this helicopter more than I trust that little one. The little ones actually sometimes fly a little bit rougher than the bigger ones. The bigger ones are more refined in a lot of ways. But because these are bigger and more capable of damaging, you know, the floor, the walls, the ceiling, you know, whatever, us, we usually fly these outside when they get bigger. So that's what we're gonna do tonight on this heli. So we're gonna get ready to fly a short flight for you outside. But just so you know, when this is ready to fly, all you need to do to arm this is press the power button, just like this. The lights come on. And then what you'll do is you will turn on and off your transmitter so that you have a fresh boot. And then you go down and then up, or excuse me, up and then down. And that should be binding to the helicopter, but I'm not seeing any activity. So we're gonna dig into this real quick. Okay, I think I know what's going on. Camera crew says it's not on. You have to wait for a few seconds. Then it turns on. So that's what I did wrong. I'm gonna power off, power on for a virgin boot. You can see the flashing. This also, green light's also flashing here. And you can also see the light here. So I'm gonna go up and then down, and then you know you're armed. Now we can see movement this way, this way, and that way. Now, if ever in doubt, rotate the blades and you can see them moving left and right, and then this one's gonna move forward and backward, okay? Very good. So now the other thing too is, rather than spool this up, I am gonna go ahead and save this for outside. But as you can see, we're definitely bound, and that thing looks absolutely fantastic. I can't wait to see it outside. And we hope we answered your questions for you. This helicopter is gonna be something else because it's big enough and because of this downward facing sensors, things like that. I wanna make sure we have space to give it room to bounce up into the air. Of course, we've got these lights, can actually adjust those lights, but we don't typically do that for these unboxes. If we had a blizzard outside, we might be more compelled to fly it inside. But our Sierra, good job. Another awesome helicopter meets reality. Thanks for bringing to the regular, normal people helicopters that we can fly. Remember, you don't need to be an expert pilot to fly these things. They will automatically level. And if they do fly upside down, they quite literally fly upside down, and then you just keep flying as though it were right side up. It's crazy. But keep in mind, you lose the sensors that would ordinarily find a position in this axis and this axis. That's why they call it a 6G configuration. So we have 1 gyro, 2 gyros, 3 gyros that are handled by the flight controller. And then there's another dimension here and another dimension there. And then of course there's the up-down dimension that can be handled by barometer sometimes by downward looking sensors, and sometimes by LiDAR sensors. It just depends on the helicopter. So in this case, we're gonna go ahead and get it outside and fly it. And hopefully we answered all your questions. If you have more questions, or if you wanna buy one of these, check out the links in the video description below. As usual, if you wanna buy this, follow the links, and then they'll know that we sent you there. But if you have questions about it that we didn't answer, you could also find manuals and other supporting documents when you follow the links in the video description below. Also, when the batteries get low, this will start to fast flash, and these will start to fast flash, and we will demonstrate that when we see it. Just keep in mind, if you press stop, it's going to stop after you hold it for a couple seconds, not instantly. I wish it were instant, because that would be a whole lot better feature from a safety perspective. Now, up and up, you see up and up? That has to do with other features we're gonna talk about. There's also one-touch takeoff and one-touch landing, okay? So stop just stops it. Landing is here, takeoff is here, but you still have to arm it and then press takeoff, okay? So we're gonna pause, see the upside down controls, and then come right back. Okay guys, so a couple things. This is the calibration. The gyro calibration's down, down like that, okay? So this is not connected to the helicopter. We plugged it back into the charger to get it fully charged. Now the other thing is, for 3D, they say mode 2, mode 1. So 3D up is like that, okay? So in speed mode 3, at least 3 meters up, they say 3 meters up because it doesn't know how far up it is. It'll do it at 0 meters and it will crash. But once you hit that, then you rock it one way or you rock it the other, and it will roll that direction into an upside down attitude, and it will fly. And then to come back, I think you press up and then go back the other way.
So, yes.
So you don't have to go opposite the way you flipped, but it's just gonna flip back that way. Now keep in mind, if you're in low voltage, it will not flip over. And if you go to low voltage, it might automatically flip over. But I've never been in those two combinations at the same time. So frankly, I'm not sure what'll happen. But if you land in tall grass with these, I have caught these in trees, bushes, all sorts of stuff, and they usually are pretty survivable. But I still don't like to run into walls, cabinets, stuff like that. With these bigger sizes, you tend to get more damage, like the damage in the wall up there. If you look really close, looks like a giant cat attacked my wall. It definitely wasn't a helicopter. Oh wait, it was. You saw it. Yeah. And by the way, that was when the house was brand new, wasn't it?
Yes.
So that being said, RC era C180, the BO105 in attack formation with rocket pods, looks absolutely fantastic. Make sure you get yours with the correct finish level so you can tap into all the features you want. If you want the upside down feature, you have to get that thing that says 3D mode 2 and 3D mode 1. By the way, if this is mode 1, if your transmitter setup is a mode 1, then your mode 1 key is over here. If you're in mode 2 is collective or throttle, yaw, and this is lean forward, lean back, lean to the left, lean to the right, ailerons and elevator, but this is a cyclic control. This is the collective control, okay? That's mode 2. That's really popular in the United States. If you're over in Japan and some parts of Europe, they use mode 1 more frequently, but I think there's like 8 or 9 modes. But I've only ever flown in mode 2. And by the way, if you try to fly mode 1 and you're used to 2, you're gonna crash. If you're used to 1 and you try to fly mode 2, you're gonna crash. And if you can interchange and intermix those, your brain is special. So you get the Brian Phillips RC Award of Excellence. That being said, speaking of excellence, this video is over. Our Unbox build radio setup and Maiden Flights come all together in the helicopter world, especially on these ready to fly or bind and fly helicopters from RC Era. So RC Era, thanks for giving us another awesome product. Can't wait to do the next one. There's so many cool helicopters. And yes, if we had the full retail packaging on this, you'd be able to see the ones that are about to come out because they have all of them in order, it looks like. And I know that they have more coming because we know about one that's on the way right now. Can't wait to share it. And we also have another Flywing coming, and we have another Flywing coming, and we have another Flywing that we just flew that isn't released here. And that was really cool. And so we will probably tempt fate by sharing that stuff even before it's released because we can. But here on Brian Phillips RC, we try not to taunt you with early release stuff that can't be purchased because after all, you're watching this because you want to get it yourself or you wouldn't be watching. And that's what we do. We bring this stuff to market as best we can, as early as we can, as effectively as we can, given our circumstances. And by the way, we were at Joe Knoll just a few weeks ago, had a great time. If we got to meet you for the first time, thanks for coming up. Thanks for interrupting us in our busyness to say hi because that's why we go. And it was an amazing experience as always. So thanks for being with us. Met lots of cool people. And we always love to see our audience, the people that are real on the other side of that camera. You got to remember, we're real on this side of the camera and that side of the camera. We're real people doing real things. By the way, quick update on our directional boring. You can see over there, we have a directional boring rig. And yes, we have rolls of giant cable. And then let's just pop out here real quick. Cat out of the way. You can see right here, we have, nope, that's not a grave for Brian Phillips. That is where we have gigantic conduit. And yes, there's more over there. And there's more. And then there is where he broke one of the PVC lines next to the building. And that is gonna go around and hook up to where our power is. So it's pretty exciting stuff, guys. You see that little chase there? This is a septic system. You had to go in and under around it. And then over here, we've got another access hole. And then over here, another access hole. And he's going to this spot, about where that mini excavator is. And then he's gonna go also inside there to a 10 by 10 hole. It's gonna be exciting. We can't wait to share the final results, but the damn gift shop is coming along. Maybe someday you can visit us. But in the meantime, watch the videos, smash the bell when you subscribe. We want you to be notified of new content here on Brian Phillips RC. And
Obviously, give us a like if you enjoyed the content. Even if you didn't buy the helicopter or you don't like the helicopter and you like something else better, you can check out brianphillipsrc.com or bprc.me at any time, and you can compare and contrast the plethora of helicopters we've done, and obviously all the helicopters and airplanes we've done. And it's really easy to find them there. Now, if you have questions, leave them in the comments below. We'll do our best to answer. And if you also want to support us, and not just by buying this particular helicopter or one that you found on bprc.me, you can support us in one of 4 easy ways. You can do Patreon for monthly support. Thanks for being monthly supporters. We have a few hundred of you guys that are giving us $1 or $2 or $5 or $20 or $25 or whatever it is you guys got. We're really happy that you're in our corner. But also thanks for being YouTube members. We have YouTubes. I think we're up to a couple hundred there as well. And so every little bit helps. And guys, we don't want to be a burden on the RC community. That's the furthest from the truth. We want to help you guys to have success. And the way we do that is by bringing you the latest and greatest. Obviously, this is a lifetime pursuit. It's going to be, it's going to be something we're paying for the rest of our life. But at the end of the day, we're helping bring the joy of the hobby to a world that hasn't been touched by it yet, or by people that gave up on it for one reason or another because it's too hard, too expensive, too time consuming, whatever it was. We'll help break that excuse here on Brian Phillips RC. So super thanks are always appreciated. And then one-time donations through PayPal also. So those are the 4 ways we're going to talk about. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching these videos that we're doing all the time. We've got so much stuff ready to unbox, ready to share and explain and give you guys our verdict on. We love these RC Era helicopters. There have been very few that have not worked well. And I managed to crash one for you today. And it walked up and got on the counter and took off again. So hopefully that's going to be your experience if you have a crash. But if you don't, and you have a total loss and you need to get a new one to replace the hole in your heart that came from that helicopter that blew up in 4,000 pieces, you'll know where to find it on bprc.me. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. So much more right around the corner.